Hey guys, it's me Evelyn here on Erotic X Loser, and today we're going to go ahead and do another poster drill. This one's going to be a bit different. It's not like ones I've done before, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. So of course, with all my tutorials, there will be a resource pack where you guys can download all the contents that I use in this tutorial, and the resource pack will be here. It also contains the 4 images that I'm going to use, which is 2 Na'Un, 1 Taemin, and 1 Jaehyeo. Now, within this pack, you're going to get textures. I'm going to show you what the textures are. You're going to get this one here, a light texture, angel wings type texture, birds, a handprint, and then we're going to get this one here, which is a box, which is going to be our poster mock-up, what the poster is going to look like. So you want to go ahead and drag in the last texture that I showed you, which is the squares and the circles. We're going to double click on the background to unlock our layer, and I'm going to set my color layer to blue and click OK. And I'm going to name it background as well. So here I'm going to go ahead and use my magnetic wand tool, and I'm going to select the upper square on my background. I'm going to right click on that with my mouse and do layer via cut. So that'll have this section cut away from the actual background, and I'm going to repeat the process with all of my areas. So I'm going to do this lower box area. You're going to want to hold shift to add to the selection and click the extra edges here and the right side. Set to the selection and right click and layer via cut. Make sure that your background layer is selected when you do this, and just continue with the actual selecting and layer via cut. So we should have 4 layers, layer 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the background, which are the white lines. So once you have that done, you want to go ahead and input your photos. I'm going to go ahead and use Taemin first. I'm going to click and drag it in, and it seems about a good size. I'm going to go ahead and stretch them out a bit, so I'm going to lock my chain link, and I'm going to resize the percentage here to about 35 pixels. And that seems like a perfect size, so I'm going to shift it over like so. Maybe right around here. Say OK by pressing the check mark, and I'm going to go to edit, transform, and flip horizontal because I want Taemin to be facing the left part, and you're going to move it however you see fit. Maybe I'll just do this here, which is fine. And I'm going to right click on his image and make sure he's over the background part you want. I want him on the top box part, so I'm going to right click and remove his image to where I want it to create a clipping mask. Right click on his layer and create clipping mask, or you can go ahead and go to layer and create clip mask, which is Alt Control G as well. So you have that. Now as you see, we have this little name here of the person who made the actual who took the photo. Credits go to them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and choose a clone stamp and try to want to right click and rasterize your layer so that you can edit on it. And I'm just going to press Alt, make my brush a bit smaller, and I'm going to try to clean up the areas, because if you have like this sign there, it kind of is distracted. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to clean that up, and I'll come back when I'm done. So now that I've done that, it's not the best, but it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this image, Control J, do that, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it about 25 pixels. And why I do this is so that it gives a really blurred effect. I'm going to right click and create clipping mask so that it attaches to Taemin's original layer. And I'm going to lower the opacity first of all to about maybe 75% on the fill or opacity. I'm going to add a layer mask, layer mask, reveal all, grab a round brush tool, make sure it's fluffy. So you can click that one. Hardness 0. I'm going to pick a size that you are comfortable with. I prefer mine to bigger than what I'm actually going to do, because I'm going to use black on my white layer mask, and I'm just going to erase so I can see Taemin's face more. And my brush is a bit too big, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it a bit smaller, and I'm just going to erase like so. Because I want the background to be like dreamy-ish, but I want to be able to actually see his face most of all. So once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and add your other image. I'm going to go ahead and add Jaehyeo now. So click, drag it onto the image as well. I'm going to resize him significantly big, like so. I'm going to put him down here to at the bottom left. Click the check mark, say yes. I'm going to hover him over the layer 2, which is the bottom squares here. I'm going to right click and create clipping mask. And as you can see, his face is kind of covered, so I'm going to move him over more like so. Control J, Control F to apply the Gaussian blur again. And then we're going to have a layer mask already added to Smart Filter, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to rasterize layer, add a layer mask, and do the same with his image so that we can see him a little bit more. I'm going to lower his fill to 75, and I'm going to repeat the process with non-lens images and come back when I'm done. So once we're done, I'm going to go ahead and just merge these together just because I don't like having a lot of layers, or you can actually group them if you don't mind. So to group them, you're going to click one layer, the top layer, scroll down holding shift, click the last layer, and all your layers will be highlighted. You're going to press Control and G on your keyboard to group them, and I'm going to name this background poster. And I can't spell, but that's alright. Fingers move faster than the brain. Anyways, so now we have our basic poster. Nice and simple, right? So now we're going to go ahead and add the texture. So we're going to have this top texture here, which is the wings texture. And what I do is I shift and move them over, and I want them kind of on Taemin's area here. So I'm going to go ahead and just select his box and then add it to a mask to my image here, and I'm going to go to normal and set it to screen. And I'm actually going to shift it first, so we can go ahead and delete that layer mask before I figure out where I want it. And I'm going to move it maybe right about here, Control T, and scale it down a bit. Maybe just a smidge more, and that looks great. I maybe tilt it just a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and hold Control, click that layer, and then add a layer mask by layer, layer mask, reveal selection, so that the selection is revealed. And I'm going to kind of lower it to maybe about 76% just to give it some nice faded look, but yeah, it's still very prominent. The next, I'm going to go ahead and add this hand texture. And you can do it in any order. I'm just doing it by what I remember from how I liked the way it looked. I'm actually going to set it over the whole image like it is because it's big and wide enough. And I'm also going to set this to screen or lighten. Lighten looks good. It makes the darks grayer. I'm going to add a layer mask, and I'm going to use my round brush tool. I'm going to change my round brush tool opacity to about 50%. I'm just going to kind of erase what's overlapping over the people. Not too much, just a light erase. Just so that you can see it, but yeah, it's not too overpowering. So once we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the birds, and what I do is I click and drag. I'll let them lay where they open, and easily set this to multiply so that it gives the image another, like, I don't know how to call it, but I just like the way it looks. It looks a bit grungy, yet kind of sophisticated. Maybe that's the wrong word to use. Next, we're going to grab our light texture, and click and drag it and open it in the image. I'm going to move it over here where it goes over not in Taemin a bit. I'm going to image adjustment, and as you can see, we can't change the color yet, so we're going to right click on our image, rasterize the layer, then we're going to go to image adjustments. I'm going to go to variations first, and I'm going to go ahead and add a darker and a few red tones to the image. Click red a few times, darker once, click OK. Then I'm going to go to image adjustments, and I'm going to add a hue saturation, and I want to change the hue to a pinkish tone. See if I can get it there. That's about right. And I'm just going to leave it like that there. I'm going to image adjustments, and I'm going to change the color by going to color balance, and I'm going to add more red to it to make it more pink, like so. I'm going to normal and set it to screen, and it's going to be very bright, so I'm going to lower the opacity to give it a soft look like so. And then lastly, we're going to add our text, which I just click and drag and let it lay where it lays. And then I'm simply going to set this to screen. As you can see, it kind of overlaps Natalie's face, which is what I kind of like it. You can move it down if you want to. I'm just going to leave it where it opened. And then lastly is the PSD, which is this here. I'll open it so you guys can see what it looks like. It is actually the PSD that I made, It actually has the glow to see what the glow will look like with the PSD. So I'm going to simply just drag the group over onto my image, and this is how it looks. Lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make sure your group is the color is the top layer, and that it's selected. Shift Control Alt and E to merge layers visible. And I'm simply going to go to Filter, Sharpen, Smart Sharpen, and I'm going to have my amount by 500 and my radius at 0.3 to sharpen it like so. And I'm simply going to lower my fill to 50. And if it's a bit soft, you can adjust your fill, whatever, however you see fit, and we're done. So basically just right click and merge group, or just flatten image, and then you can file and save as, and you're done. Again, I hope you guys liked the tutorial. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and hope to have more of you guys soon.